Hello, my name is Sarah Robinson. I'm a veterinarian and interdisciplinary scientist in One Health Research and currently a postdoctoral fellow at Simon Fraser University. Climate change, biodiversity loss, shifting health risks, increasingly we acknowledge that these compacting crises interact, reinforce one another, and create challenges that are inherently complex. So they require systems thinking and transdisciplinary collaboration. But there is a mismatch. While our language has evolved toward complexity, the systems we use to produce and share knowledge were designed for a different reality. The rhetoric has shifted faster than these underlying systems. So we're not necessarily lacking in solutions. We're in a transition where many solutions already exist, but they are fragmented, optional, or added onto structures that have not fundamentally changed. I want to highlight three system shifts to redesign the infrastructure through which we produce and mobilize knowledge to unlock real multi-solving capacity. Elements of each are already emerging, but acknowledgement does not equal transformation. First, knowledge must become a public resource, not a public economy. We've made progress on open access, but in many cases, we've simply shifted the barrier. Instead of readers paying to access knowledge, researchers pay to share it. And those costs are not felt equally. And making knowledge available is not the same as making it usable. Too much publicly funded research remains locked behind paywalls, expensive publication models, and technical language formats that don't reach the people that need it most. Communities, practitioners, local decision makers, and researchers working outside well-resourced institutions frequently face barriers to participating in and then benefiting from knowledge systems. So whether through publicly funded publishing platforms or nonprofit models, the goal is the same: ensuring that publicly funded knowledge can be accessed and shared regardless of geography, institution, or ability to pay. If knowledge is going to help solve public challenges, it must be treated as public infrastructure, accessible, usable, and equitable. And part of that is producing creative forms of knowledge sharing. Plain language summaries, policy briefs, videos, community-led storytelling. We can't communicate primarily within the echo chambers of academia, because in complex, interconnected crises, unusable knowledge is effectively lost knowledge. Second, if we want research to create meaningful change, we need to realign our priorities so that impact, not output, becomes the central focus of how we evaluate and support research. There are already important reforms happening, but in practice, most academic systems still prioritize publication volume and grant totals as the primary currency of success, while simultaneously asking researchers to collaborate, engage communities, build relationships, and support decision-making. We've expanded our definition of success without changing the old expectations. A true shift would be moving from productivity and output-based evaluation to integration-based evaluation, where we recognize collaboration, translation, and real-world application. Third, collaboration must be funded as infrastructure, not goodwill. We routinely call for interdisciplinary and cross-sector solutions, but we're designing these within largely siloed systems, with the building and maintaining of those relationships often under-supported or even invisible. Some funding structures are beginning to recognize this, but we still rely heavily on informal effort and individual goodwill. A game-changing shift would be to explicitly fund and formalize boundary-spanning roles and time. We need to invest in the people, roles, and institutions that make integration possible. Because collaboration itself, the work of connecting disciplines, sectors, governments, and communities, is infrastructure. And like any infrastructure, it must be resourced if we expect it to hold. The challenge we face is not simply generating knowledge. It's ensuring that the systems producing that knowledge are capable of supporting the complexity we are asking them to address. None of these shifts are entirely new, but we remain in a transition state where solutions exist but are not structurally enabled. We need transformative change of the systems themselves. Thank you.